Ladies and gentlemen, it is another Friday, and it is my hope that this day is going to bring with it good tidings to you. Yesterday, Raila Odinga was in Kuria, and I observed two things. The first thing I observed was the fact that Raila Odinga was installed as a Kuria elder. It was the first time that was happening. And that event was witnessed by elders from the Kuria community and the Luo community. And the other thing which caught my attention was the fact that that ceremony was actually presided over by Nelson Marwa. When I talk of Nelson Marwa, you know what I mean. The second thing I observed is the fact that during that event, Raila Odinga was accompanied by Ida Odinga. You know, Ida Odinga is the wife to Raila Odinga. But the fact of the matter is that Ida Odinga normally tries so much to avoid political events, and if she has to attend events, in most cases, they are very important events. So that's how I want you to look at the Kuria event. And while Raila Odinga was in Kuria, William Samoei Arap Ruto, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, was in Ukambani, and he appealed to the residents of Ukambani not to support Raila Odinga, and appealed to Kalonzo Musyoka to support him. Back in Nairobi, the ANC party issued a statement. And in their statement, they were telling Raila Odinga not to attend Mudavadi's earthquake event. Basically, they were telling Raila Odinga that he's not invited. I don't know even why they were doing that. But I want us to focus on the Kuria event, because the history of Kuria and the Luo is well documented. Kuria is in Migori County, and I want to take you back a bit. In 2013, ODM party was keen on bringing Kuria community on board. So what they did was to negotiate for positions. You know, Kuria, I think they are something like 25% or less of the population in Migori. So what happened was the fact that ODM decided that they were going to win. I mean, they were going for the gubernatorial seat, which was designated for Professor Akongo Oyuge. Then Kuria was to be given the Senate. And that's how Machage ended up becoming the senator. Then women rep was to be contested, but Danita Gatti was so popular and was a darling of the residents of Migori. So in that election, at the county level, Kuria had 2 seats, the women rep, which Danita Gatti won on her own account, and the Senate. But despite that, when it came to the presidential votes, the Kuria community actually voted more for President Uhuru Kenyatta. I think Uhuru Kenyatta had 50-something, Raila Odinga had 40-something. And that's what annoyed the Luos. In fact, Okoth Obado won as PDP because of the Kuria votes. He identified the gap, appointed a Kuria running mate, and then, because of the hatred between Kuria and the Luos at that time, he was able to win. In 2017, of course, the 2 members of parliament were voted to, I think, Jubilee or URP at that time. In 2017, the same. But the Luo community now decided that for the Senate, they were not going to give to Kuria again because they could not bank on their support. So when elections came again, Uhuru managed to win, Jubilee managed to win the 2 Kuria seats, parliamentary seats. They managed to win majority MCS in Kuria and even the presidential votes. But Raila Odinga is keen on winning the support of Kuria this time around. So in this video, I want us to look at Raila Odinga's visit to Kuria. I want to do a critical analysis of that particular visit, what Raila Odinga wanted to achieve, and whether he achieved them. But before we do that, if you're watching this channel for the first time, I want you to take a second or two and click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue to thank you guys for your continued support. Please don't tire, and I will also not tire. I want this to be my tagline. Just click the thumbs up button, drop your comments, and for those who can share, share. I want to try to be very brief because today is Friday. You all witnessed that event in Kuria. In your opinion, was it successful or was it not successful? In my considered opinion, Raila Odinga had a very successful event in Kuria. And he actually achieved whatever he wanted to achieve. Politics is a game of perception. Raila Odinga was installed as a Kuria elder. So perception Ali is now one of them. Number two, almost the entire Kuria leadership, those who were previously in Jubilee, who supported Uhuru and Ruto in the past, joined Raila Odinga, led by Nelson Marwa. So basically, in terms of perception, that one Raila Odinga got. But what were the objectives of that trip? The first objective of that trip, if you ask me, is that Raila Odinga is keen on Nyanza block. Raila Odinga wants Nyanza region to vote as a block. If you study the events as they unfold, Luo Nyanza is already locked. That's not in any doubt or question. They'll vote for Raila Odinga to the last man. You go to Kisii, I can assure you that in the last election, Uhuru Kenyatta won in Nyamira County, Raila won in Kisii. This time around, Raila Odinga is going to win overwhelmingly in Kisii. And that's why you are witnessing mass exodus from Jubilee to ODM. Those ones to run and the rest. So in Kisii, for example, in the Gusii region, Raila Odinga is now sure that he has consolidated the Kisii. Then you move to Kuria, which was now remaining. And the move Raila Odinga is making is actually intended to win their support. Whether they're going to heed to that support, I still don't know. But one thing we can assume is that, at least for the first time, Raila Odinga is enjoying the support of Kuria elders, the support of the Kuria community opinion leaders like Nelson Marwa. For the first time, majority of aspirants in Kuria are flocking to ODM. So in my view, Raila Odinga is keen on consolidating Nyanza voting bloc. And I've never understood why Kuria has refused to to work very closely with the Luos. For example, if you look at Meli Odhiambo, Mbadi, most people believe those are Luos. Meli Mbadi, John Mbadi, the ODM chairperson, and Meli Mabona are not Luos. Those are Suba. Even Jaka Kemba. My friend Jaka Kemba. They are Sudanese. But the Luos have embraced them. And I don't know why Kuria has always pulled away from their brothers. If you go to Migori, for example, in Migori, I found something very interesting. There's a huge population of the Luya nation in Migori County. There is a huge population in Migori County of even warriors because of their welcoming heart. But let us not get into that for now. So Raila Odinga is keen on consolidating the Nyanza voting block. That's number one. Number two, I also think that Raila Odinga has devised a new strategy for his 2022 campaigns. That strategy is manifesting itself. If you've been following Raila Odinga, he's organizing most of these town hall meetings where he's meeting community leaders, community elders, the youths, the women, listening to their issues, listening to their voices, basically just listening to them. In Kuria, Raila Odinga tried that new strategy. In the past, they would organize ODM events. The ODM leadership from Kuria community would come, and then they'll say, okay, Kuria, we are giving you the Senate, we are giving you this, you support us, But this time round, Raila Odinga is actually doing what is called engagement. He's engaging with the people directly. So he met with the elders, they discussed. The community, the opinion leaders, they shared their views on what they want. Like there were the demands for Kuria County. Yeah. So basically, Raila Odinga is listening to them for the first time. So it's basically a new strategy which Raila Odinga is employed. And number three, which I also think is critical, is the fact that Raila Odinga wanted to seek the blessing of the Kuria community ahead of his campaigns. In the past, he would go organize events there, just go and, But this time around, he went to them, and the first thing they did was to install him as an elder. And after installing him as an elder, now he became one of them. And they blessed him. And they told him, you can now go outside there and campaign. That is something which had never happened before. So the community blessing which Raila Odinga received from Kuria, in my view, is going to work. Because in the past, and with all due respect, I don't think Kuria community, for example, voted for those 2 members of parliament. I term them vifaranga vya computer. Even the votes for Kenyatta got majority of them. But they knew, or they understood the rift. Number 4, in my view, is that Raila Odinga wanted to receive the defectors from Jubilee or from URP from Kuria community who are willing to join ODM party. And you see, it's that weak transfer window where politicians are moving from party A to party B. What shocked me is the fact that 6 MCs actually defected. These are MCs who have always accompanied the deputy president in all his tours in the Kuria region. All of them defected to ODM. Now, I counted politicians who have always stood by the deputy president defecting. Why are they defecting? So it means there has been some background moves to win these people to Raila Odinga's side, or probably the ground is shifting in favor of Raila Odinga this time around. I don't know the strategy the deputy president is going to employ, but I'll be waiting to see his next move, especially in Kuria. And lastly, I also tend to think that Raila Odinga's objective of locking Nyanza is basically to lock William Samoei Arap Ruto from Nyanza. For you to win the presidency of the Republic of Kenya, you need to get 25% of votes cast in half of the counties. So basically, you must get 25% in 24 counties. Kisii Nyamira, in the last election, gave Uhuru and Ruto over 25%. Now in Migori, I'll check the figures, but I think because of Kuria, probably they got that. William Ruto calculations was that he was going to get Kisii, Nyamira, 25%. That's 2 counties in Nyanza. Then move to Migori, and with the help of Obado, who has actually also dumped him, with the help of Obado and Kuria community, then he was also assured of getting another 20-something% from Migori County. My own understanding is that Raila Odinga is keen on stopping Ruto from getting the 25% in any county in Nyanza. I'll be keenly following to understand or to figure out how he's going to how he's going to fare in Kisii and in Nyamira. I don't know what you think, but that's my take. And by the way, I'm getting information that we should be expecting a major news announcement from William Ruto's office. Is he resigning? Stay tuned.